our tofu. Now, this tofu here, there are different ways of preparing tofu. And over here we have our tofu expert who works at our tofu factory in Israel, producing tofu. The healthiest tofu that you can buy. We make sure that we don't have any genetically engineered soybeans. We make sure that we use a natural process, that we don't add any animal products or anything like that to our tofu. And he actually studied, this is Hakam Liel HaKohen, and he studied in Japan for a couple years learning the tofu making process. So we're going to take our tofu that is all natural. This one, of course, I bought here in Germany, though I didn't get it from our factory. But tofu here is made, again, from soybeans. Soybeans are yellow, and they're processed in such a way so that they're cooked and they're formed into these blocks here. Now, I have recipes in the book on how to prepare your own raw tofu, but this is how the traditional tofu works. For those who are transitioning from eating meat products, tofu is a good substitute because it gives you that texture that you're looking for. There are 1,000 different ways to prepare tofu. What we're going to do here, and the reason that we've included it in our recipes for the raw food is because I'm going to show you a couple recipes where you don't have to have any additional cooking to the tofu. The beans, again, have been cooked when the tofu is processed, but in addition, many people, you might take tofu and you'll fry it and you'll batter it and bake it and all these types of things, but what we're going to do here is just make a tofu salad, and we're also going to, dissect the tofu, make a very quick, simple thing, meal out of it. Now, many people, the big question with tofu is how do you prepare it? It's how do you give the tofu some flavor? Because tofu has no flavor. Eat a piece of tofu. Would anyone like to volunteer and show it?
No.
Okay, no, everyone's kind of afraid. The cameraman would like to try. Just take a little piece, put it in your mouth, and you see that it tastes like, what does it taste like? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, yes, tastes like nothing. So, what you want to do is what we're going to start with first is we're going to make just a marinated tofu. It's very quick, very simple. And there are several ways to make marinated tofu, but we'll just keep it at one simple recipe here. Okay, take the tofu. What you're going to do is dice the tofu. Take the block and cut it into little cubes. Okay? Cut it this way. And also the tofu you want to basically store in water because it helps to keep it from spoiling. You want to make sure that you change the water every day if you don't use the whole block. For those who are just cooking for themselves, maybe just use a half a block and then put the rest in the water. Make sure you change the water every day. So, pops off right just like that in little cubes. And you season this right, and children love it. Many people are looking for foods for their children to eat, and they love tofu. Children in the community, they love to eat tofu. Okay. Now, very quick, simple recipe. We'll use a smaller bowl so you can see it a little better. Since it's white, we'll use a darker bowl. Okay. I take this tofu. And quick, this recipe won't take you more than 5 minutes. 10 tops if you're new at this, but 5 minutes, basically. So you're going to just take this tofu, sprinkle some salt on it, a nice amount because it absorbs everything, every flavor that you put in it. So that's about, we'll say that's a teaspoon. Generally I don't measure, but in the book I have measurements for everybody who needs them. Nutritional yeast, again I'm going to sprinkle on here. Nutritional yeast has vitamin C. It gives the food a little cheesy flavor to it. We're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And you can use fresh garlic if you prefer. The garlic powder is more concentrated. Because tofu, you need to really season it to give it make it taste like something. Okay? You can add also, you want to marinate it a little bit in the soy sauce. But since we put the salt in here, we're not going to do that. But we'll show you with the next block that you can marinate it that way. But we added the salt, so you don't need the soy sauce in it in this case. And does everybody like curry?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of curry to our tofu. But again, you can season this any way that you want. Okay? Also, we're going to add a little paprika. Shake a little bit in there. You know, just for yourself, you don't have to get a teaspoon and measure everything. Just shake it in by, you can just tell by the look of it how much to put in there. Okay. So now we are going to just stir it up a little bit. Oh, sorry, last ingredient, olive oil. And it helps it to have a little bit of oiliness to it. Olive oil is natural, is very good. The type that you want to make sure that you have is cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. I don't know how you say that in German, but you want to look for that on the label. Cold pressed extra virgin olive oil.
What does extra virgin mean?
Extra virgin means that, you know, they haven't overly processed it. It still maintains a greenish color. Yeah. It still maintains like a greenish color. It's lighter, of course, than what's in the bottle. If it's light, as for example this oil here, then it's been processed too much. When it's green and it's, you know, slightly lighter than here, then you really can tell that it's not as processed. It still maintains some of the vitamins and minerals in it. You know, of course, the best thing to be to eat the olives themselves, but the yeast will be the next. I mean, the olive oil will be the next thing. That's one of the more healthier oils that you can consume. So we're just going to mix up our tofu. And guess what? We're finished. Very quick, very simple. You're going to taste it. You're going to love it. I promise. Okay? Okay. I'm going to put this to the side. Now I'll show you the second method for our tofu making here. Actually, I'll divide this in half and I'll just give you 3 quick tofu recipes. So this one right here, we'll take this half and we're going to switch our tofu. Okay. Thank you. We're going to take our tofu here. And again, we'll just slice it up a little bit. Thank you. Put it in our cubes. Okay. Chop it this way. You can chop it as big or small as you want. You want to give it some texture. You're going to take this. Now what we're going to do with this tofu is we're going to go back to our wakame here, and we're going to add just a little bit of sea vegetables to it. You can add any type of sea vegetable that you want. You can add a sea vegetable called arame, which is my favorite to add to the tofu. You can add wakame, you can add any of the other types. You can take a nori sheet and you can roll the tofu inside of it. It's a wide variety of different things you can do. So we'll take the tofu here. Put it in here, our bowl. And I'm going to just add a little bit of the soy sauce to marinate. When you add the soy sauce to marinate the tofu, it really gives it a nice flavor. So just put a little bit on there. Okay. You can use soy sauce, you can use tamari. Tamari is actually preferred. Tamari